The Adivasis of central India have lived in and around the forests for millennia, their lives inseparable from these ecosystems. However, when the British colonized India, they first reserved all the valuable forests to exploit them for the crown, thereby dispossessing the forest dwellers of their resources. They then introduced the forest village system to meet their labor needs for this exploitation. Under this system, they cleared patches of reserve forests and offered them for temporary cultivation leases in exchange for guaranteed labor in forestry operations.
And the fundamental condition of the forest village was that the moment the forest department, that is the forest guard, asked you to present yourself, you had to drop everything and get there. So this could be for marking trees for felling, or doing the actual felling, or clearing a road in the forest so that a bullock cart or a truck could come in to carry the timber out, or it could be for the laying of a fire line to protect the forest from fire.
Even after independence, over 5,000 forest villages continued to exist, with 925 in Madhya Pradesh alone. Dindori district, including the Baiga Chak area, contains 86 such forest villages, predominantly inhabited by the Baiga community. It was only after the introduction of the Forest Rights Act of 2006 that a glimmer of hope emerged for dismantling this exploitative system.
The Forest Rights Act of 2006 offers the opportunity to radically improve forest governance in India, especially in the Adivasi belt of central India. It does so by recognizing the rights of individual forest dwellers to continue pre-existing cultivation, and more importantly, the rights of communities of forest dwellers to collectively access and manage their customary forests. But even 16 years after the Forest Rights Act came into effect, the situation in Baiga Chak, where the forest villages are the most obvious form of historic injustice, have not received their rights, and the situation has not been redressed.
Baiga Chak was the site where Venkat Ramanujam, a PhD scholar at ATREE, conducted his dissertation research. Following his research, the villagers requested ATREE's assistance with their forest rights claims. In 2021, ATREE launched an action research program aimed at understanding the reasons for the denial of forest rights and developing solutions to address these challenges.
We started with a focus on community forest rights, but we soon realized that in forest villages, we need to first resolve the problem of individual forest rights. In the process, we had to deploy geospatial technologies. We had to help improve the administration's understanding of the special nature of forest villages. And most importantly, we had to build the capacity and the confidence of the villagers, especially the forest rights committees, to engage in a proper bottom-up process of claiming their rights.
तो लोगों द्वारा इस मुद्दे को रखा गया कि क्षेत्र में व्यक्तिगत वन अधिकारों का क्रियान्वयन अधूरा है, और ख़ास करके वन ग्रामों में जो क्रियान्वयन हुआ है उसमें अनेक त्रुटियां हैं, और इन त्रुटियों के कारण लोगों को अनेक समस्याएं झेलनी पड़ रही हैं। तो इन समस्याओं को थोड़ा समझने के लिए 5 गाँव में अध्ययन करने का निर्णय लिया गया, और अध्ययन के नतीजे से ये स्पष्ट हो गया कि इन 5 गाँव में 20 से 50% क्षेत्र पर ही व्यक्तिगत वन अधिकार मान्य हो पाए हैं, और जो व्यक्तिगत वन अधिकार मान्य हुए हैं उनमें भी अनेक त्रुटियां हैं।
एक तो व्यक्तिगत अधिकार मिलना बहुत ज़रूरी है, इसलिए क्योंकि मैं जिस ज़मीन पे खेती कर रहा हूँ उसका कागजी रूप से दस्तावेज मेरे पास होने चाहिए। दूसरा, सरकार के बहुत सारे जो योजनाएं होती है, जैसे कि अभी प्रधानमंत्री किसान योजना हो गए, फिर मनरेगा के बहुत सारे काम होते हैं, मेड़बंधान, तालाब वगैरह, फिर कृषि विभाग के बहुत सारे योजनाएं होते हैं बीज को लेकर, खाद को लेकर के। तो मेरे ज़मीन के दस्तावेज नहीं होने की वजह से इन लाभों से मैं वंचित हो जाता हूँ।
Since the entire cultivation and habitation of the forest village is on what is technically called forest land or reserve forest land, the process of claiming must involve a comprehensive mapping of all the plots of lands in the village, what one might call wall-to-wall mapping. It is not a case of mapping isolated plots somewhere in the middle of the forest. It's a case of creating a complete record of the lands of a village.
To achieve comprehensive recognition of forest rights in the Baiga Chak region, ATREE adopted a threefold approach, beginning with the villages of Pondi and Sheetalpani. First, they strengthened the forest rights committees in these villages by providing training and support for the claim-making process. The second step involved enhancing the claims process with the use of geospatial technology to ensure more accurate claim submissions. Finally, ATREE engaged with government officials through workshops and programs to educate the administration about individual forest rights issues and the unique history of forest villages.
And we began with 2 villages where we had extensive support. So Sheetalpani and Pondi, these were the 2 villages. So we trained the youth in these villages to use a very simple GPS app which could be downloaded to their smartphones and which can be used for mapping by people themselves. You don't need an expert to do this. And we took about 6 months to complete the mapping, but it was a process in which the people of the villages were themselves involved, so that gave us considerable satisfaction. And when the mapping was completed, we could see the discrepancies that existed, because an enormous number of mistakes in the way these rights had been recognized. We made a presentation of these findings to the district administration. The collector had changed by then, it was Mr. Vikas Mishra, but he was very quick to understand where the problem lay, and he said, we will rectify these errors.
Through ATREE's efforts, the district level committee of Dindori verified the accuracy of all maps and claims, resulting in the issuance of IFR titles for about 70% of the claims in the first round.
सर पहले तो 1 मिनट दिया था, अब तो हमको खुश लगा कि पहले तो सरकार ना पता कौन ना पता, हमारा खेतों को नहीं दिखा था, लेकिन अभी हमको ऐसा लग रहा कि हम स्वयं किए, हमारा खेत का हम खुद ही पटवारी बन गए, मान लो ना। पहले सरकार को पटवारी बोलते थे, सरकार कर्मचारी को। हमने खुद गांव के लोगों के साथ घूमा, अपने खेतों को खुद नापे, तो ऐसा लगा कि हम कर लिए, हमको मिल गया। तो यहाँ से हो सकता है कि समुदाय के लिए भी करें।
Having initiated the IFR claims process in several villages, ATREE's long-term goal remains the recognition of community forest rights in the region, seeking to address the various errors in the previously granted titles.
Due to the efforts of the communities and some sympathetic collectors, the 2 villages where we pioneered the work on comprehensive IFR recognition have now worked very hard to complete the process of claiming their community forest rights. We are quite hopeful that the administration will start the process of recognizing these claims and provide the pathway for all other villages in Baiga Chak also to recognize their IFR, CR and CFR rights.
हम लोग कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि डिंडोरी जिला इस मामले में पहल करके अपने नागरिकों को थोड़ी सुविधा दे सके और हम एक बेटर डिंडोरी बनाने में मदद कर सकें, जहां पर फॉरेस्ट जो है वो लोगों के रोज़गार का और उनके एक बेटर लाइफ का एक जरिया बने, और ये सब करते हुए जो फॉरेस्ट कंजर्वेशन हमारा है वो मेंटेन हो। यही हमारा मेन पर्पस है, और मुझे पूरी उम्मीद है कि हम लोग इस लक्ष्य में सबके सहयोग से आगे बढ़ पाएंगे। मैं खासकर ATREE संस्था का बहुत आभारी हूँ कि वो हमें लगातार सपोर्ट भी कर रहे हैं, और उनका सपोर्ट मुझे आगे भी मिलता रहेगा।
We are now working with a number of villages to support their process of IFR recognition as well as CFR recognition. But our long-term goal is to really build capacities across the entire Baiga Chak region so that people can initiate these processes and complete these processes themselves, get their rights, and then move to the next phase, which is the most critical phase, namely to manage their forests for livelihood enhancement and for sustainable forest management.